What's good, everybody? Welcome into another Start Sit show. As you can see, we have no mic, but we got everybody else here, man. We got Eric in the building, we got Jay Rich in the building, and we also got Gene O in the building. Fellas, what's going on this week, man?
What's going on, guys?
Y'all ready to do it, man? We got 2 weeks before the fantasy playoffs, man. This is the push. If you're trying to get in the playoffs, you probably got to have a win this week if it's close. So 2 weeks until the fantasy playoffs. It's also nice because we got some really good matchups this week, man. We got the Jets-Vikings. We got the Titans-Eagles. We got the Dolphins-Niners. And we also have the Chiefs-Bengals. You know the Chiefs want this one because the Bengals beat them every time last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to go this week. So, Jay Rich, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. I'm pumped. Like I mentioned, loaded 4 p.m. slate. That should be awesome. Happy to be here, filling in for Mike. So should have some more consistency. We don't have any Antonio Gibson bias, any running back bias, but love Mike. I know he'll be back next week, but happy to be here. And thanks so much for inviting me.
Hell yeah, man. Glad you guys could all make it. We got a bunch of people in the building. Tunchi says, what up, what up? Oh, shoot. We already got a Fizzle Dollar super chat, man. Bright and early. Fizzle, what's going on? Super chat to support the early Sunday grind. Hurts, Fields, Lamar, Tua, Dak. Rank in order for Superflex plays today. I have 3 to 4 across a lot of leagues. So, all right, fellas, I'll start with you, Jay Rich. We got to rank these in order. There's quite a few of them here. Hurts, Fields, Lamar, Tua, and Dak.
Man, I'm just trying to pick number 1.
Bro, that's a lot of good quarterbacks, man.
I think one's easy. I think the rest are fucking.
So do you think one is Hurts? One for me is probably Hurts against the Titans. Then if we're going number 2, I don't think it's Lamar. I think I'm between Tua and maybe Dak. So you have the upside of Dak, right, in a great matchup, and then you have Tua in a bad matchup, but expecting a ton of volume there. Fields, I don't love because he is a little bit hurt playing the Packers. I think it could be a tight game, close one. And then Lamar, I just don't really trust him playing the Broncos defense, one of the best in the league against the pass. So probably have to do a lot with his legs. I think Lamar would honestly be last for me. I think I'd go Hurts number 1, Lamar last. I still think I would probably take Fields over Lamar. How do you guys feel about those two?
Go ahead, Gene.
I know Fields. I know the Green Bay defense has struggled against running quarterbacks. I think Fields' rushing line was like 67.5 if you're looking at Prize Picks, and Green Bay has allowed the rushing quarterback to run over that number every time this season. But I don't trust his weapons versus Green Bay. I kind of lean Lamar over Fields because, I mean, at least Lamar has Andrews to throw to. So I think I would have Fields last and Lamar 4th.
Eric?
I think I'd go Hurts, Dak, Tua, Fields, Lamar. I think that's where I would go.
I think that's actually where I'm at, too. I would go Hurts, Dak. I'm excited to watch this game, but I am a little worried for Tua just because, man, first of all, Shanahan and McDaniel, like they know what they're both trying to do here, and that's a little worrisome for me. So that's where I'm at there with that game. I think I got Hurts over Fields. Where are you guys at though with Dak? Do you think Dak is actually 2 on this list? That's where I have him.
I would lean 2 only because I know Tua, their offensive line is they're missing a couple players. And I think actually San Francisco gets Eric Armstead back for this game too. So that's just another pass rusher. So I kind of lean Dak just because I want to be safe, but I know Tua probably has more volume in that game compared to what Dak would have to do to beat the Colts, in my opinion. So I think I would have Hurts, Dak, Tua, Lamar, and then Fields.
All right. So Fizzle, we appreciate that super chat, man, as always.
Thanks,
all right, so Tunchi says, which 2 quarterbacks would you guys start of these? Goff versus Jags, Brady versus Saints, Geno versus Rams or Cousins versus Jets. Eric, I'll let you start this one off, man.
I think I would go with Goff. I mean, we were talking about it pre-show. That game could be a high-scoring game. So I think I'm going Goff for sure. I think I'm going to go Cousins. I like Cousins today at home. That should be a higher-scoring game, too, because I think Mike White's going to, at least punch back a little bit. So I'm going to go with Goff and Cousins.
All right. Gene?
I'm going Goff because like we talked pre-show, I think that game has the second highest over under like 51 and a half or something. So I like Goff's weapons versus the Jags secondary. And I think I want to lean Cousins versus Jets. I know the Jets secondary has been decent, but I trust Cousins at home a lot more than the Jets. So
okay.
And it's not prime time. So
there you go. Yeah, that's the main one with Cousins. It ain't
that was
prime
the one
time.
thing. That was the one thing you didn't hit on, Gene, is that he's playing a 1 o'clock game, so he's probably good for his best performance that he's possibly going to have, maximizing his upside here. I think you can make the case for Geno versus the Rams, but potential blowout. And I'm not starting Brady against the Saints. Saints defense has been much better over the past few weeks. Lattimore should be back. Could be an ugly game, even though it's at home. Definitely start Goff. It's high total, like you mentioned, Gene, 51 and a half. And then I would definitely trust Cousins against the Jets. Adam, I'm assuming you kind of agree with us there.
Yeah. So I'll be honest. I'm starting Goff for sure. That matchup is like just prime for him. I'm actually pretty close here between Geno and Cousins. I'm going to lean Cousins, but I also think like from week 7 to week 12, Geno's actually quarterback 7 in warp. And this Rams defense isn't really all that scary for me anymore. Donald's out. Like I don't know, man. I don't think it's as scary of a matchup as it once used to be. So
it's not the matchup. It's Bryce Perkins. What is he going to do?
And then they don't have to
stay
throw
competitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
is Bryce Perkins still starting?
It's Walford this week.
Oh, is it Walford starting?
Walford starting. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He's back now. Oh,
but
I care.
The problem is though, like that whole team is just dead on offense. So I guess that's where you're right though. If the game's out of hand, Kenneth Walker show, and we'll just not really worry about throwing the football. So, all right. Good talk there. But, yeah, I think I'd start those. I'm agreeing with you two there. Good morning, fellas. P-Ron owner is being a catch, so I can't cuff Mixon. That leaves me with Gibson, Everett, or Hurst in my flex spot. 1.75 tight end premium. Jay Rich, what do you think here, man? It's a pretty heavy tight end premium.
Gerald Everett or Hayden Hurst. Man, Everett's been really not so reliable. I don't think I would play Gibson. I think with the 175 premium, I would probably play Hurst. I think that Hurst is going to be forgotten a little bit. I'm not sure what to expect from Jamar Chase. I think he will get his targets, absolutely, but I don't know how healthy is he really, right? He almost started last week. He didn't because he wanted another week. That's fine. But this week is a big week for them. They need to get him the ball. But maybe he's more of a decoy because Kansas City is going to have to focus on him. T. Higgins will be a major focus. I think Boyd and Hurst can both have great games. Kansas City's hasn't been so good against slot players, slot receivers in particular. They allow a lot of fantasy points to the slot. I believe they're 4th in the NFL. So that's a big key for me is that can they get those slot points? I think that Hurst is probably the best matchup. You can talk about Everett because he is playing the Raiders. So there's, the upside there. But a lot of that stat is buoyed by Kelsey's 4-touchdown game against them or 3-touchdown game, whatever it was. So that's where the data kind of falls apart. They actually have been decent against the tight end. So for me, I think I would go Hurst. I understand if you want to go Gibson, but I don't know if I could do it this week. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, Gene, what do you think, man?
I think I'm going with Hurts here too. Everett hasn't really been that dependable the last month, just going through injury and and then the other weapons going through injuries. It looks like Herbert has been relying on Eckler and the course of DeAndre Carter and Palmer and now you got Allen back too. I just feel like Everett's a forgotten person, and like you said earlier, I'm not really I'm already scratching out Gibson just because of the 1.75 and them splitting time with Brian Robinson. So I'm going with Hurts here.
Yeah, it's a good thing Mike's not on. Eric, any other thoughts are you saying?
Yeah, I'm with Hurst.
All
I mean, I think you can kind of flip a coin a little bit, but I'd probably lean Hurst.
I'm with you. I think I'd probably play Hurst here too, but if you're bold enough to roll Gibson because you think you're gonna this week it's gonna be his show and last week was B-Rob's, go ahead and do that. But for me, I'm not gonna do that. I'll do Hayden Hurst here. All right, we got a couple super chats here, fellas. Remy, appreciate the super chat. Full point PPR. Deontay Johnson or Bam Knight at flex must win. Jay Rich, you got the laugh going, man. I'll let you start it. What do you got, man?
It's got to be Deontay, but I do not feel good about it. Up against the Falcons this week, prime matchup, best matchup he'll have all season. The Falcons are terrible against wide receivers. It's just can Kenny Pickett stand in there and get him the ball? I think it could be a great game for George Pickens as well. I think he's kind of the guy who will thrive more outside versus those corners. But the question is he going to see AJ Terrell? And that could be a big problem for him, right? As bad as they are, AJ Terrell is their best defender, and he will actually lock someone down like Pickens, I think, who is more physical and not as fast. So I think that opens things up for Deontay in the slot and as kind of the secondary wide receiver. Bam Knight is fine, but Michael Carter is out, but James Robinson is going to play in this one. So it will be a heavy rotation of Ty Johnson, Bam Knight, and James Robinson. So that's the only reason why I think I would go with Johnson over Bam Knight. I think the floor is definitely in favor of Deontay and the matchup as well.
All right, Gene?
Yeah, I lean Deontay here also. I don't want to play with that backfield of the Jets. I don't know who's going to lead it. I don't know I don't know anything about that backfield with all three of them playing. So let me just go with the player that's playing against the six words defense versus wide receivers. So Deontay.
Eric?
Yeah, I'll go with Deontay. I just never trust those three-way fuckfests in the backfield. So fuck that. I'll just go with Deontay.
Let me put it to you this way, man. If you need a win and you are shooting for ceiling, Deontay's absolutely not your guy. Because Deontay's best week on the year, this is not a mishap, this is what is correct, is wide receiver 34. So if you need ceiling, Bam Knight probably actually gives you a better chance to hit higher. Now, if you need floor and you're worried about Bam Knight's usage, I agree that you got to go Deontay. I think for you, it depends on what your situation is and your must win. If you need a floor, someone to just help you the rest of your team be good, Deontay's the guy. If you're shooting, you need to shoot for upside to get this one, I think you got to go Bam Knight. That's personally where I'm at on that one. All right, so Marlon, what's up, Marlon? Start two here. Swift, Najee, or Christian Watson, full PPR. One of these is easy. Eric, I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, Watson's the easy slam dunk one. And I think I'm going to go Swift.
Najee?
I think I'm going to go Swift because he's healthy and Najee's not. So I think I'll just hopefully Swift does something.
Yeah, Swift for me too. Yeah, high total. I'm on the Swift bandwagon for sure. I think it's a great matchup finally. He's been, slowly getting more involved. This could be the week that he has a pretty big week against Jacksonville. And, I think him and Jamal Williams both could have great weeks. It's just Najee's health. The matchup, I think, is fine. But I think they will force Pickett to throw a little bit more in this one. So I would be leaning Swift and Watson for sure.
I'm in full agreement. Gene, any disagreements on that? Or are you saying
I have nothing. I'm on the same bandwagon, man. Let's ride.
Marlon, appreciate the super chat, man. Hope that helps. Pretty easily for us. We're all consensus Swift and Watson. If Najee goes out and kills it, sorry for that, but I'm not doing Najee here. Always appreciate you fellas. Appreciate that, Brandon. We got another super chat. Half PPR. I believe that's supposed to be super flex, ST, but choose one running back and one flex. We got White, Mason, Gibson, Mostert, Watson. Gene, who are you thinking here? Rashad White, I'm assuming there.
Okay.
Antonio Gibson.
Jason Mason. Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason, yep. And Mostert and Watson. Now, is that Christian? Which Watson is this? Is that Christian?
It has to be Christian Watson.
Christian Watson.
So, I mean,
so he's got to be in there.
Easily your flex. So we're basically choosing one of White, Mason, Gibson, and Mostert.
All right, so I'm scratching out Mostert off top. I don't want to mess with that.
Don't trust them
either. I don't trust them, and they're playing against San Francisco has one of the best run defenses, and they've been leaning on Wilson for pass catching. So I'm scratching him out. Let me go Rashad White here, man. I like what he showed last week. I know Lenny is active, but I don't know. I would assume they're probably going to be splitting their work 50-50. So, and we know that Brady sucks against the Saints. So maybe they might lean more into their running backs to do some damage versus the Saints. So let me go White here.
Yep. Jay Rich.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Gene. I think that Rashad White will kind of all these guys, I think he's probably the most guaranteed for touches. I don't trust Jordan Mason. I don't love Gibson. Mostert, same deal. He's probably going to be the lesser, 30%, 40% guy in this backfield that already isn't going to be a great spot against San Francisco. Like we already talked about, probably see a lot of Tua. I think I would go White. I don't love the matchup against the Saints, but to your point, I think that Brady will be under a lot of pressure like he is every game against the Saints. Dump it off a lot, probably gets around 12 to 15 touches. And I think as a floor, that's pretty solid. And I can't say that about the rest of these running backs. And then obviously Christian Watson would definitely be the flex.
Yep. Eric, same.
Yeah, White and Watson, pretty easy for me.
Yeah, same. That one's pretty easily me there as well, Brandon. So I hope that helps you out. All right, so Timothy says, good morning, fellas. Start one of Pacheco, Juju, or Jeff Wilson. Who wants to start here? Eric, you want to start?
Man, I think I'm going to go Juju just in this high-scoring matchup. Pacheco, I just don't know. The Bengals got back DJ Reader, too, and he's really good at stopping the run, so I don't like that. And then Jeff Wilson and those guys, man, I just don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball on San Fran, especially with a lot of their O-line hurt. So give me Juju in the high-scoring matchup.
Gene?
Yeah, I agree here also. Pacheco, I mean, he's been cool, but he doesn't get any passing down work. So it limits the upside. And again, San Francisco has one of the best rush defenses. So let me take my chance on the high scoring game with the best quarterback throwing the ball. Let me get Juju.
Yeah, I'm in agreement here. Jay Rich, any disagreements? Okay.
No, man, got to be Juju for sure. I don't trust Pacheco in this matchup. I think it'll be a lot of throwing in this one between Burrow and Mahomes.
Yeah, man. All right, so we you know what? We got a familiar face here with a start-sit question. Eric Vanek is asking one on here. I got one. PPR League start two. Pierce, Pacheco, and Rashad White. Jay Rich, he's not going to answer his own, I don't think. So we'll start with you and Gene and then myself. What you got here?
Man, do I trust? I mean, that's obviously Damian. Well, Damian Pierce is a good matchup. You got to start him.
Damian Pierce. Okay.
I don't think I'm starting Pacheco. I think I'm benching him, man. I just don't think it's a good matchup against the Bengals.
That's what I have right now is Pierce and White.
Yeah,
I think you trust. I think you trust the volume of Rashad White. I'm assuming Gene seems like you agree.
Yep, I do.
Okay.
I'll tell you this: the only one I would maybe push back on is Pierce, and I know the Browns' run defense is horrible. So, like, I get it if you want to play him, but man, these last 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks have scared the hell out of me with Damian Pierce. Yeah. So, like, if you wanted to go Pacheco over Pierce, I wouldn't completely fight you. But you did mention some points. Reader's back. That run defense isn't great, or is better than a lot of other teams. So with Pacheco, it's not a surefire start. That one I think is a toss-up for me. Yeah. I'm definitely playing White, though.
I mean, I've just watched the Browns get run all over all season, so I think that's what I'm going for.
The other thing is with Watson back, we haven't talked about yet. Deshaun Watson back. Do they get a lead early, and Houston doesn't even have the opportunity to run the ball much?
We'll see, right? I think we'll see. That's the problem.
I mean,
at least in Houston, right? So
they're favored by a touchdown. So
it's not a lock. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So that my only pushback would possibly be there. If you start Pierce, I totally get it though. What up, Ty? Appreciate you coming in the building, man. Start two. Knight, White, Fournette, Cordell Patterson, Latavius Murray.
Oof.
Eric, these are all your running backs right here, man. Who you want?
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with.
Man, this is tough.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Cordell Patterson and Latavius. I think those are the two I'm going to go with on this one. With Knight, it's just, like I said, three-way fuckfest. You don't want to deal with that. White and Fournette, I just don't know which one it's going to be. At least I know Latavius Murray's going to get like 90% of the work, and Patterson's probably going to get, 60% with Algier is the only other guy. So I'm going to go with C-Pat and Murray.
Okay. Gene?
Yeah, I know Latavius, they play against Baltimore. Baltimore is top 4 in rush yards allowed. Yeah. But like you said, I do trust his workload more than anybody else on this list. So sadly or reluctantly, Latavius is the first one I'm going to go with. And I don't know. I know Tampa Bay does like Lenny when he's able to go, but that's damn. This is tough, man. I guess I gotta go CPAT, man.
All right.
I trust him a little bit more than the rest. Sadly,
Jay Rich, are you the same, or are you looking for some Rashad White in here, or what do you think?
Rashad White is interesting. I don't think I'd take him over CPAT, though. I think CPAT will get those goal line carries. Gene, to your point about Fournette, right? The thing that's sticking in my mind is last time they played, I believe it was week 1, Lenny slamming it up the A gap on 3rd and 1, getting stuffed 2 plays in a row. Like he's just not getting through that defensive line. And they're a little bit banged up, but I don't trust him, man. First game back off of injury. This is when he was healthy and he still couldn't get through that defensive line. So for me, I would definitely be rolling with Murray and CPAT. And you can make the case for Rashad White and Bam Knight. There's no way. I can't start him over these guys. I think the volume is too good for the other guys. And, Murray should be fine. And CPAT, I'm praying he gets in the end zone in a game that should be pretty up and down between those two teams.
Yeah, I think Fournette and Knight are the easy scratches for me. I think it's going to come down to Patterson, Murray, White. I think I'm going to put White just barely at 3rd. I do think he's looked far more explosive, to Jay Rich's point, how Lenny's it looks like he's cooked, man. It looks like the Uncle Lenny show is dead. So I think there's a good case to be made for Rashad White, but I'm not going to play him ahead of those guys that have pretty surefire volume coming their way when there's a game that could be played possibly with the usage of White and Fournette. So I think that's where I'll make that decision. I think we're all in agreement there. We need Mike. We might need We might need Mike back. We have all the agreement going right now. There's all consensus decision. I'm 20 minutes late from my post. Only one question this week. Half PPR, need 2. Zay Jones, Nico Collins, or Sky Moore with his increased usage. It is increased, but it's not great. So Jay Rich,
from like 5% to 10%.
Yeah, it is increased, but it's not what you hope for when you draft a Sky Moore in the first of rookies. Jay Rich, what do you think here for Garrett, man?
I think it's Zay Jones.
You got to pick 2,
I think
though.
it is.
Zay,
God. I got to pick 2?
Yeah.
This is Zay and Nico and this slam dunk.
Yeah.
Is it slam dunk?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Zay's the number 2 high scoring game, and Brandon Cooks is out. Nico's the number 1.
Oh, if Brandon Cooks is out. Oh yeah, then give me Nico for sure.
This is no question, no doubt, no Sky Moore for me. So go with the other 2.
Never Sky Moore.
I'm sitting Sky Moore here. I will say with Brandon Cooks out in this team, they're gonna have to throw the ball like crazy. But if Nico could get a lot of Denzel Ward, I still even there want him over Sky Moore though. So we got ties back. Pierce, Pollard, Knight, Gibson. Start 2.
Pierce and Pollard, right?
Yeah,
Pierce
I'm
and
going
Pollard.
Pierce Pollard. Yep.
I agree. Pierce is worrying me these last couple of weeks, but I'm going to have to start those 2. Kamara or Jamal Williams?
Whoa.
Jamal Williams.
I'm starting Jamal Williams too, man.
Yeah,
I
don't think it's that close, man. I think he's going to get a touchdown almost guaranteed.
Go ahead, Gene.
I say we're there with Kamara where we're just like we were debating between him and Jamal, man.
Here's the thing. Like, as much as I wanted to fight it because of my Swift love, the usage he's getting, the way he's getting used at the goal line, the points he's scoring.
Yeah,
I have a hard time sitting Jamal Williams for running backs that are not, I like Kamara still, but not ahead of Jamal Williams. I got to be honest, man.
I understand.
That's where it is.
I'm in agreement with you. It's just crazy to say
this is where we're at.
Or Jamal Williams, yeah.
Yep. All right. We got Bam Knight is on every one of these questions. Bam Knight or your boy Gibson, Mr. Teardown King. Well, he ain't here, and I can tell you glowingly he would be going crazy about Antonio Gibson right now. But is it Antonio Gibson for you guys here too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we ain't going that far with the Gibson hate around here. We can't let that happen. Start 1, Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers. He also has Cole Kmet or Hurst. Eric?
I think I would go with. Ooh, man. I think I'm going Hurst for sure. I mean, if you were going to start Fields, you might as well play Fields and Kmet together. But I think I'm going to go Rodgers and Hurst.
Gene?
Yeah, same thing, man. He's playing against one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah.
And we've been saying Hurst over Kmet pretty much the whole show already. So Rodgers and Hurst for me.
Jay Rich?
Yeah,
Same?
I'm complete agreement. We saw what Mike White did. Now I'm sure Aaron Rodgers can do something pretty similar to the same defense.
If he
injured or not, right?
I agree. I think this week I'm rolling Rodgers out. If he doesn't do it this week versus this defense,
Give me Jordan Love.
You can stop asking any questions on Aaron Rodgers ever again, because if he doesn't do it this week, it's not happening. I'll say this too, with Fields, if I knew he was going to be healthy and get a lot of that rushing volume that we've seen him be so relatively incredibly highly scoring with, I'd play Fields, but I don't know that he's going to get that rushing work with how banged up he is. So, Tunchi, appreciate the super chat, man. Happy to answer the question, so no problem there. Lee says best day of the week, man. So yeah, man, it's the best day of the week. We got football here. Of course it is, and you get to not really wake up, because we've all been up for a little while, but wake up with us here. What's up, team? Seem to always get Jamal Williams wrong every week. In PPR, would you take Jamal, Zay, Pollard, Devontae Smith, or Zonovan Knight? I can start too. Appreciate the insight as always. Jay Rich, to start off with you, man. PPR, you got to get one of Jamal, Zay Jones, Pollard, Devontae Smith, or Bam Knight.
Is it one or is it two? You said start two, so I would go.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Jamal
start two. Apologize.
And Pollard pretty easily for me. Start those two high-powered running backs in great offenses. Like I said, I expect Jamal to score this week. Highest scoring game, probably go up and down the field pretty easily on the Jags. I think he's going to score, and obviously you're not benching Tony Pollard. Even with Zeke back, you still got to play him.
I fully agree with that there. Eric or Gene, any disagreements here?
Nope.
No.
Nah. Like, I like Devontae Smith, but not over these two running backs, man. No way. Got to start those two guys. Fizzle says, I know Kmet is a play, but with Mooney gone, how high are we ranking him, and who should he be started over? Good question. I don't do weekly rankings, Fizzle. We're actually just talking about that on here. But how high do you guys think he should be in the tight end mix? Eric?
I mean, he's right at the back end of tight end 12, 13, somewhere in there. He's just any other tight end, basically. He's not one of these super smash tight ends that you just start and plug in. So he's just like a coin flip guy.
Yeah, I think that's right. Back end tight end 1, high end tight end 2 this week. There's a lot of guys I'd start over him, but if I have a grim tight end room, like I'd roll Cole Kmet out, hoping that the volume goes up with him. So.
Would you start Cole Kmet over Foster Moreau?
Mike wouldn't, because any week Waller's out, he starts Foster Moreau. I probably would roll with Foster Moreau there.
Yeah. What about
Taysom? Moreau in the higher scoring matchup.
What about Taysom Hill with Johnson out?
Oh man,
it's a good matchup, right? It's a good matchup for Taysom Hill.
I might go Cole Kmet, but that one's close. If you want to go Hill, I won't fight you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's about the range, though. I think that's kind of the pressure point for me. When you get into that territory is when you could start saying, I'm going to start Cole Kmet.
I'm just worried about him being the only option in the offense, right? Like, it's him and Claypool, no one gives a crap about him. So it's just all eyes on Cole Kmet, because he's kind of been Justin Fields' guy, right? Especially scoring touchdowns. So I still think he's TD dependent, though. And if, anything is wrong with Fields, or, that offensive line breaks down versus the pass rush, could be a tough day for everyone involved in Chicago. So I probably would keep him pretty low in my rankings.
I agree. He's going to get a lot more focus in that middle of the field. And he's TD dependent, and a lot of these tight ends, that's part of what the problem is when you get to this down list. They're all kind of touchdown dependent. None of these guys have a bunch of volume. Yep. All right, Dynasty Alex. Lazard at Chicago, Knight at Minnesota, or Zay Jones at Detroit. PPR pick 2. Gene, we'll start with you here, buddy.
I got Zay Jones and Alan Lazard.
Okay. Eric.
Same thing. Lazard and Zay. I'm going to go with the higher scoring games right there. And then, like I said, Knight's in that three-way, fuck fest, basically. So, no thanks.
Jay Rich?
So what happens if Bam Knight has a good week this week? Because we are benching him in pretty much all formats.
Listen,
I have a shit ton of them.
I have a lot of Bam Knight too, but I can't do it. I don't trust him. I don't trust the offense. The matchup is fine, but I don't know what to expect. And I think both these guys are better options, so I just can't do it.
I'll say this. I will go against the grain here. I'm going to take Zay Jones for sure, easy. But I will roll the dice with Knight over Lazard. I know the defense is really bad, and Lazard has scored touchdowns, but it's been a while. It's been quite a while since Lazard's really been relevant this year.
Yep.
It could be this week, because that's a really bad defense. But it's been a while since he's actually made my lineup do anything worthwhile. I'm going to take the shot on Zay Jones here over him.
The thing with Lazard is he runs like 90%. He's out there for like 90% of the snaps. So it's hard to sit him against a really shitty defense.
Agreed. But it's also, he's been out there for 90% of the snaps for how many weeks doing nothing?
I mean, he gets you close to 10 a week. So, I mean, I'll live with it.
I mean, I think it's a case there to be made, but I get you. If you want to start Lazard, there's more surefire volume there than it is with as he says, man, the three-way fuckfest in New York could be bad. Am I crazy? I'm not that worried about a guy that was a healthy scratch last week. Like, I know he'll take some work, but I still think it's going to be primarily what we saw last week as far as usage. Fournette or Mostert flex play? Oh, man.
That's disgusting, man.
There's not that many.
Would you guys start Fournette because he's probably got the best shot at a touchdown, and that's kind of the differentiator here?
I think so. Yeah.
Where are you at, Eric? I think I'm probably in agreement with you, man. The thing with Mostert didn't play last week. This is not a great matchup. When I think about it too, Shanahan knows exactly what this whole run scheme is going to be. I think they're going to have clamps on this run game. I'm not really into Mostert this week.
Yeah, I'd probably go Fournette, I guess.
And I don't think I'm starting Fournette anywhere. So
no, I don't want to at all.
But in this matchup, I think between these two guys, it's Fournette.
I was gonna say Tom Kennedy, but he's inactive. So.
Oh man! All right, so recovering Ritter Trooper, Bam Knight, dude. Am I tripping? Have we had one that's not Bam Knight so far? Everybody wants to know about Bam Knight, man. Bam Knight or Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt, easy.
Really?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you start Kareem Hunt against one of the worst defenses in the NFL?
The one thing is this run defense in Houston's bad. Kareem Hunt's not a guy I like to start weekly, but this week I probably would fire him up over Bam.
Yeah. I had to think about it. I'm glad you said that out loud, Jay Rich. Let me go Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I'll go Hunt as well.
Yep, I think that's the case there. Our boy Jay, appreciate the super chat, man. $9.99. 10-team PPR. I need a flex. Burks, Pacheco, White.
Oh, Burks.
Jay Rich, any disagreement?
Burks.
Yeah. I'm fine with Burks. Burks or White for me. Not going to be Pacheco. I think it's just whether you want the floor or the ceiling. Probably lean White for floor and Burks for ceiling, but I think both are in good spots. I expect Tennessee to be down, right? Pretty high scoring game. I believe they've gone over their team total at home. Philly has in like 4 of the last 5 games. So it could be a pretty high scoring affair, around 50 points or so.
Yep.
And Derrick Henry could struggle a little bit in this one. He hasn't had great games, but he's been fine. We'll see how that rush defense holds up. But I expect Burks to be involved quite a bit. So I guess I'd probably roll Burks. Roll Burks.
Eric, are you going Burks too?
Yeah, Burks.
I'm going Burks too, especially Jay. When you say full PPR, I'm gonna roll with Treylon there.
For sure.
All right, recovering Ridley Truther. Appreciate the super chat, all y'all, man. Appreciate this, gents. We're starting two tight end premium and it's full, so it's a 1 point per reception for every position other than the tight end who gets double, and it's a half point for a first down. Kyron Williams, Bam Knight, Tyler Higbee. Thank you. Wow, Eric, what do you think here, man?
These are Kyron and Bam because Higbee plays left tackle. That's easy.
Gene.
Man, I was about to say something very similar to the Higbee playing tackle, but we do got Wolford back, and he does check down a lot. So there's that. But I think I'm also gonna lean Kyron and Bam here.
Yep.
Ain't no way. I'm not playing Bam Knight. I'm playing Kyron and Higbee. If you want to play Bam Knight over Kyron, I'm fine with it. But Higbee's been fine the past 2 weeks, 12 receptions and over 100 yards in the last 2 weeks. So if you're getting the premium, you got to take it.
I don't know if I can play 2 Rams though. That just makes me want to.
Yeah, that's fine. Then go into your 3-way fuck fest with Bam Knight. But I mean, they got to do something. And the Seattle defense is one of the worst against tight ends. So if they can't exploit that matchup, then
let me scratch that. Let me go back. Let me go Kyron and Higbee. So I'm glad you mentioned the last 3 weeks, because last week he didn't get a pass at all because we had the Byron Perkins and he couldn't do shit for his shit. So now you got a quarterback can at least throw the ball. Mm-hmm. So let me go Higbee and Kyron. Even though I don't want to go 2 Rams, I'm gonna switch mine to the 2 Rams.
I'm going with Tyler Higbee, and I'm going with Bam Knight. Kyron Williams, man, it might be better for him with Wofford in here, but I think I'd rather, especially with the 2-point premium, I'm going to go Higbee and Bam Knight. Kyron's not one of the running backs that I'm saying, all right, yeah, this is a guy I'm going to put ahead of Bam Knight. I would roll the dice with Bam Knight here from what we saw.
But the Rams want Kyron to work.
I know, but they also – it's not if Akers wasn't playing like it's still 40% of the snaps or whatever it is, I'd feel a lot better about Kyron Williams. But
Kyron led the team in carries and second in yards and tied for first in receptions. So
yep.
From a volume standpoint, you can only expect him to get that's 13 touches. So it's
Bam Knight had 14 carries for 69 yards, and he didn't even have the whole week with Michael Carter starting. And the only one that's in the way is going to be freaking James Robinson was a healthy scratch. Like I still think there could be work with Bam Knight. I get you though. Like I'm not saying Kyron's a horrible play, but I'm not putting him ahead of Bam Knight. Yeah. We got a couple other super chats. They keep rolling in, man. Appreciate everybody with the super chats. Pick 2, flexing, Damian Pierce, George Pickens, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson. Well, we had this Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson face-off last week, and the correct answer was Garrett Wilson, but they both showed out. So who do we think here, man? This is a tough one, picking 2.
I'm just taking Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson again. You can make the case for Pickens. I don't really want to start Pierce, but in some of the other instances, I think it was fine. But yeah, I'm rolling with those 2 receivers. I think they've just been great. There's no point of fading them now, especially Garrett Wilson. You can make the case for Pickens, but I'm just not buying into Pickett this week. And Pierce, I'd happily sit for those options personally. How do you feel about that, Gene?
I am going Wilson for sure. I mean, you could make a case for Pickens or Watson, but we've seen Watson's upside, and I wanna go with the upside over Pickens here. So let me go Watson and Wilson.
Okay. And then Eric?
Yeah, same thing. Wilson for sure. Watson has that shitty Bears defense, so I'm going to go with Wilson and Watson.
Yeah, especially given the matchup for Watson, there's no way I could start Pickens over him. And Pierce, to me, is easily the 4th on the list here. Full PPR, pick 2. Another super chat. Appreciate it, Dominic. Full PPR, pick 2. Bam Knight. Man, Bam Knight is in every question. Bam Knight, DeAndre Swift, Pierce, and Deontay. Yo, this is tough. Deontay, we talked about, has not had a great season at all. He hasn't even had the greatest floor. Pierce, last 2 weeks, been concerning with the rushing volume, but they're playing the Browns. Swift, also not getting a lot of volume. Bam Knight, uncertainty. Jay Rich, where are you at, man?
So I think Swift is a lock for me. I just like the upside. I think the matchup is great. High scoring game. I think he's pretty much locked in for me. So I have to ask you guys, who would you start between Pierce and Deontay? Because I think I'm kind of leaning Deontay, but feel free to talk me out of it. Gene, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think I know we've already been saying this. The Browns' rush defense is god awful. Pierce has been really bad. There's no Cooks. At least Deontay. Not you. I can't even give you anything really positive with Deontay. We've been talking about it, but I think I lean Deontay here over Pierce.
Eric, where are you at, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with Swift, and then I think the question between Pierce and Deontay is if Pierce, I think, is the upside play to get 20, 25 points rushing against that defense, but Deontay is the floor play. If you just need like a solid 10 to 12, I think Deontay's your guy.
Yeah, I think in full PPR, he still probably it won't be like the greatest stat line, but he'll still probably get 6 or so catches, 7 catches, which makes his
you want like
north
5 for 50, maybe a touchdown. First of the season, can we get a Deontay touchdown week 13? That would be nice.
It would help him crack like some real lineups. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Deontay here, Swift and Deontay. I could see it with Pierce, but man, these last 2 weeks are really scaring me. So I'm gonna go with Deontay as well here. All right, so let's get back to some of these other questions. Tom's in the building. Says full PPR, Najee or Devontae Smith?
Oh, man. Where do you guys sit with that? I think I want to take Smith, but I feel like that's really bad process.
I think I'm going to take Swift, especially with Najee being banged up. Eric, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Devontae just because the Eagles have been running a lot of 3 wide receiver sets without Goddard. And Smith has been basically sometimes he's been playing over A.J. Brown a little bit, getting more targets. So, and Tennessee secondary is awful. Their run D is pretty solid, though. So I'm going to go with Smith.
Are we all in agreement, Gene? Where are you at?
Smith? Yeah, I think we're in agreement here. Atlanta's rush defense is like middle of the road, middle of the league. Like Eric already said, Tennessee's a pass funnel. You can throw on them. I think Hurts is gonna throw a little bit more in this game, so let me go Smith.
I feel that, man. So Jimbo6 says, "Yo, is Scott on this podcast?" Well, he's not on the stream, but he is here. What up, Scott?
Let's go.
What up to these absolute ballers? Scott Connor's in the building. Appreciate you hopping in with us, man, just to chop it up. Christian says, half PPR, Gerald Everett, Nico Collins, or Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore, after just one good week, is being already brought up in decisions here. Wow. Okay. Gerald Everett, Nico Collins, Elijah Moore. What you guys think?
I think it's got to be Nico. I just don't trust Elijah this week. Am I wrong for thinking that, or would you guys trust him?
Nico's going to be the one, but he's going to get Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore, he didn't get the volume last week, but they're playing in a game where it's going to be a little more high scoring. They're going to be indoors. The Vikings slot, I'm assuming Elijah's going to be running a lot of slot. Their slot corner is not good. I mean, I feel like I want to go Nico here, just by, I can trust he's probably going to get 6 to 7 targets. I don't know what Elijah's going to get, so I'm going to go hesitantly Nico here.
You guys in agreement, Eric?
Yeah, I think I'm going floor. If you just need a floor play, it's Nico. Upside, I think, is Elijah.
Yeah, I agree with that because, Mike White is the one quarterback they have that doesn't apparently just not look over at Elijah Moore.
And that's who unlocked Elijah last year was Mike White.
Right.
Yep, he sure did.
So they have a connection.
Now, it's risky for me still because of how little he's done all season. But if you needed upside, I think he gives you that. Like, I don't think Nico really offers that much upside with Denzel Ward covering him all game, but his floor is probably safer. So I think that's pretty simple for me that way. No one's worried about Tua, or no O-line for Tua today. He's worried about him a bit. Yeah, man, the tackles are out.
Yeah.
That rush
Very worried.
Yeah. Rush defense is legit. I hope
Jackson sacked him 4 times last week, man. What the hell is San Fran going to do to him this week?
I hope that McDaniel has really schemed up some stuff to get it out of Tua's hand quickly. Like, I do not want to see this guy going down like we've seen him in the past this week. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, man. That's a coaching duel which knows each other very well, too. He needs to start 2 of these running backs. Full PPR. Options are Swift, Rashad White, Bam Knight, A.J. Dillon. Thinking Swift, and then it's a toss-up. What about you guys? Eric, I want to start with you.
I think I'm going to go Swift and White. I still can't trust A.J. Dillon, even though he had a good week last week. I got to go with Swift and White.
Jay Rich?
Yeah, man.
I know you love A.J. Dillon.
The matchup is fine, though, against the Bears. Like, it's not
a
bad matchup. That's the only reason why I'm thinking about it. Like, he kind of showed up last week. I'm like, oh, maybe he can do it again. I think I would start A.J. Dillon.
Yeah,
I don't love Rashad White. I think he's fine with some other options. Gene, clearly you don't agree, so tell me why not. Tell me why I'm wrong.
No, I was just saying, I'm just shaking my head because I'm not surprised that you went with A.J. Dillon because
I like A.J. Dillon, man.
I know how much you love the quads.
I do love those quads.
I understand why you would go A.J. Dillon because that matchup is prime.
Agreed.
I just trust that Rashad White might get a few more touches than A.J. Dillon. That's the only thing why I would lean the Swift and White compared to A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I'm in agreement here. I'm going to go with Swift and White. Dillon's matchup's good. I'm worried that it's going to be more of this. Like, he had a great matchup versus Detroit, and that didn't do anything. So, like, I'm a little worried about Dillon, but at the same time, Fournette's back, and there could be games coming out of that backfield too. Jag says, good morning, good people.
He's
what's
alive.
going on, Jag? Yeah, man.
What's up, Jag?
Jag's in the building, man. Let's see what we got here. So, long story short, declaring rules preventing me starting Pittman and Gibson. Okay, I'm not even going to try to dive in to figure out what that is. Which dart are you going with? Non-tight end premium, Disley, Otten, or Agnew in the flex?
Jesus.
Can I say none of the above? Is there someone on waivers we can start instead?
Leave it empty.
Is Jamal Agnew even getting work?
I think I'd go Disley.
It's between Disley and Otten. I think I'd go Disley too, man. I don't know what happened for this to be the case, Garrett. Oh, you know what? There's a second part of this. Playoff rules. Do I declare and start Gibson for next week using points, or roll the dice and play Zonovan next week knowing he'll have a big role? So there's some kind of, you can only start guys a certain amount of weeks or something. So
it would be Gibson for next week. I don't know if I can trust Bam Knight, but yeah, like Disley the past 3 weeks, 12 for 17, or 2 for 17, 2 for 28, 3 for 24. I mean, what the hell? Would you maybe roll out Otten because he maybe has a better shot at the touchdown?
I think Otten has more upside.
The only
Otten
way
got a big
really
0 for me in the league last week, and Bright got all the things. That's why I went Disley, because I'm kind of
there's no case for Jamal Agnew. He went 5 for 37 and a touchdown last week.
That's some. I don't even know if he's getting work. That was my question, everybody. Does he play? Because sometimes
it's a higher scoring matchup, and isn't it in a revenge game? Didn't he used to play for Detroit? Yeah, I think
so. But his work is so random. Like the week before, he had, for whatever reason, the week before he had, I think 11% of the snaps, and then the past week he had almost a quarter of the snaps, which is I don't know. I don't understand it.
You are right. Revenge game. They drafted him in the 5th round.
Yeah, you're going Agnew then. Yep, there it is.
There you go.
Decision made.
And then I'd orphan this team and get the fuck out of this league with these dumbass rules.
It's time to bail. I don't know what the like. I'm unsure of how this works, but from what I'm reading right now, it sounds kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Slayton versus Washington, Judy at Baltimore, DJ Chark versus Jacksonville. Speaking of revenge games, we got DJ Chark versus Jacksonville. What do you guys think here?
I think it would still be Judy for me.
Really?
Yeah.
He's 3rd on my list.
You want to start Chark though?
In a revenge game, yeah.
I think I'd go Slayton.
Yeah, I think I was gonna go Slayton as well, and then Chark, and then Judy.
I'm thinking Slayton, Judy, Chark. I like the revenge game, but Chark's. They got J-Mo playing a little bit of snaps today too.
J-Mo's active.
I'm gonna roll with Slayton, and then I'll roll with Judy. Russ has this team so not cooking. There's I don't want to start any fucking Denver pass catchers, man. I'm sorry. Like I just
thing is Judy was the one though. Like I think he could just slide right back into the one role coming back. Like it's not going to be Sutton probably, and that's the reason why I would take him against Baltimore.
I feel you there. And Baltimore's defense has not been very good against the pass, but Russell Wilson's been good.
I just think I don't want to play anybody from Denver at all.
I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't mind Judy, but I'd prefer Slayton. Tier PPR, sit one, Deontay, Zay, or Zonovan.
We've had these 3 in like every question. Seems like
that's because nobody wants to press the button on these guys, man.
Sitting Zonovan.
Sit Zonovan on that one.
It's between Deontay and Zonovan. I'm going to sit Zonovan. I think it's close, but I'm going to sit Zonovan. Apparently, it's Deontay over Bam, so I guess the real question is Bam or Zay.
Zay.
Yeah, Zay. All right, DD panel first. Deshaun or Lamar. Second, am I crazy for playing Kirk over Diggs? His other starters are AJ, Adams, and Amon Ra. So first question first. Jay Rich.
Lamar, not close. I don't want to start Deshaun this week. And yes, you are crazy for playing Kirk over Diggs. Play Diggs.
Well, especially Diggs already had a touchdown, and I already saw what happened on Thursday.
Yeah. It's too late. You already done it. It's over, T-Rock. You messed up. But
maybe next time.
The thing is though, like Kirk, like you can't fix it. Like obviously Diggs already scored. I think Kirk's in a great matchup.
He is in a great matchup.
But I don't think I would have done it over Diggs. So I guess we'll find out after about 4 o'clock today.
Out of all these options, I mean, congrats to you for getting all
he's
5
saying
of these guys
Kirk over
team.
CD. And I would say yes, you are still crazy for starting Kirk over CD.
Oh, he messed that one up. Yeah. He talked about that this morning. I don't know, man. I think I'm going to start CD still there. I love Kirk's matchup. I want to get Kirk in my lineups if I can this week, but like sitting CD, I don't know. That was tough.
Even against Gilmore, I'm still taking
AJ Brown revenge game. Amon Ra's in a great matchup. Kirk in an awesome matchup. Devontae, you just can't sit.
Yep. Pick 2, B-Rob, Pacheco, White.
Ooh. I think I really like B-Rob today, so I'm going with him and then Rashad White.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Yep,
I agree fully. B-Rob is number 1 on my list, and then it would be White. Kittle or Hawkinson half PPR? Good question here, Clinton.
Kittle.
I'm rolling Kittle too.
Trust them?
Yeah, Kittle's in the smash spot today.
I'm rolling Kittle. I like Hawk though, but I'm rolling Kittle.
I do like Hawk. Hawk's been pretty good.
He has been. He's been getting volume too.
Yeah,
he does get volume. That's the only thing. But I know Kittle is in a great matchup. Dolphins, I think bottom 7 in tight ends in terms of fantasy points and yards allowed.
And Debo stinks, so someone's got to get the ball.
And he's banged up.
He's hurt.
I'm going Kittle.
I will go Kittle as well.
Yep. All right, then we're going with
and
Kittle.
McCaffrey banged up a little bit too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, surprise there, Eric. You don't ever expect McCaffrey to get hurt, do you?
Yeah.
Mike Evans. Mike Evans, or are we rolling out Chase, not knowing how effective he'll be?
This is the easiest question I've ever got.
Chase.
It's not even close,
man.
It's Chase all day long. Do you want to have Mike Evans drop a bagel on Monday night when you need him to score points against
Lattimore is coming back too.
His daddy's going to be back on Monday night.
Yeah, man. I think, dude, if you have a great option, and I don't have to start Chase, that's fine, but not for Mike Evans. This is Chase. Yeah. So let's see what other questions we got here. Super chats says I purchased it, but not showing. Okay. Oh, I think it already came through. We did get to this one.
I would say that too if I wanted my question answered.
He did actually get this one in a super chat, but it came through late or something. I don't know what the hell happened. Fields or Lawrence this week?
Lawrence.
I think I'm gonna go Lawrence too. I'm just worried about what Fields' rushing volume is gonna be with him being banged up. So I think I'm gonna go with T-Law. Pick 4. Wow, pick 4. Half PPR. Amon-Ra, CD, Mike Evans, Tyreek, Sutton, Lenny. So what's that? 6? We're sitting 2 of these guys.
Sitting Lenny, and so how do you guys feel? For me, it's between Evans and Sutton.
Yep.
I'm not just shout on Evans, but Sutton.
I'm sitting
okay with them.
I think I'm going Sutton.
I think I'm sitting Evans too.
Yep, I fully agree. I'm gonna go with Sutton. Sit Evans. So we're gonna sit Evans and Lenny here.
Yep.
Eric's dry humor is a killer, hilarious. Yeah, man. I will not fight you there. It's one of the best parts of the show. Superflex 4 point per passing touchdown. Jimmy G or T-Law?
T-Law.
Yeah,
I think it's close though. Jimmy's been really good.
Jimmy has been good. I think I'm not gonna say Jimmy G over T-Law because I do like T-Law a lot, but I think Jimmy G is a decent starter. If you
for sure,
getting down to that
Miami's defense isn't that good, so it's a good spot.
I'm interested to see how it goes this week with him, but I'm gonna start T-Law there. One more full PPR. Need Burks at Philly, Gallup versus Indy, Palmer versus the Raiders, or Demont versus Green Bay.
Ooh.
Do you guys trust Demont this week?
Yeah, it's not a bad matchup, man.
Yeah,
Matchup's all right.
It's a good matchup. I think I was gonna lean Montgomery actually, even though I like Palmer and Burks. I think I'm gonna go Montgomery.
Yeah. It's between Montgomery and Burks for me.
I'm very close with those two. I kind of want to lean Burks. I don't know how much Slay could hurt Burks here at all, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna lean Burks, but Demont's also in a spot where she could really work out well too. So it's easily those two are the picks though. AJ Burns, we only got a couple minutes here. We'll try to get 1 or 2 more questions answered. Full PPR. Start 2. Christian Kirk, Samaje Perine, Travis Etienne. This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
What do you guys think here?
I think I'm going both Jaguars.
Where are you
at, Rich? That feels dumb, though, don't you think? Are you capping your upside taking both of them?
You could be, but I think that's.
I like Perine this week a lot.
So do I.
You do? Okay.
You like him a lot versus Kansas City? I know their run defense is pretty good.
Yeah, but he'll catch passes, right? They're one of the worst. They're one of the worst against pass catching running backs. So it should be fine for him. And he was you think about it, they played Tennessee last week, and he was actually good. So I'm like, man, maybe he's better than we're giving him credit for.
If you did play Perine, which Jag do you sit though? I think my problem is if I play Perine, which I think I want to do, which Jag do you sit? Are you gonna sit ETN?
That's my thing. Yeah, I don't know if I can sit either of them.
Kirk's
got a great match.
Yeah, I can't sit either.
The one guy I cannot sit on this list is Kirk versus the Lions. Right. So that's where I'm having a hard time.
See, yeah, it's hard for me to sit ETN for Perine, but I do think that the volume could be very similar. And
fuck, this is tough. AJ.
I guess you do take both the Jags, but man, sitting Perine is tough. If you can find a way to get someone else out of your lineup, I don't know who, but I do like Perine a lot.
I think
it's a good spot for him.
I think it's very close with Perine and ETN. I think I'm going to play ETN, but I don't know. I think there's a chance that Perine actually has a pretty good game. But I'm gonna sit Perine here. Right. All right, last question. Here we go. Walker or Chase for a flex. I'm assuming this is Kenneth Walker, which makes this pretty interesting. So what do you guys think here? That's a hell of a flex, Reese. Jeez.
Yeah, it is. I'm still going with my boy Jamar Chase, man. Let's ride. Let's get it.
It doesn't say full PPR or half PPR standard. I think that
there's got to be a way to get both of those guys in.
Yeah, there's no
this
way,
roster must be like super light. This
isn't a question. This is just like a flex, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm just flexing on it.
For a flex,
Two-team
exactly.
league.
What would you do here, honestly, man? Would you play Chase over Kenneth Walker? I don't think I could do that.
Not against the Rams without Aaron Donald. I think I'm gonna go Walker.
So y'all want to go Ken Walker?
Oh, and
I
if it was
do, yeah.
If it was Chase in a normal week where he's not like coming off the injury right away, I'd probably easily play Chase. But I think because of that and knowing how Kenneth Walker, even when he's had bad weeks, has still been pretty damn good. So
that's true.
With the Rams this week, with them possibly crushing them with nothing going on there, I think I have to play Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks he hasn't even averaged 2 yards per carry rushing.
Right, but he got in the end zone twice last week, and he had a bunch of catches the week prior.
Yeah, you're right. He did. I know my love for Jamar Chase.
Right. So there's got to be a way to get both of these in.
Yeah.
So that's what I can call.
I'm kind of
Reese,
with you. Like
Reese, we don't have time to go over the full roster because we got to bounce out of here. Lineups are about to lock, but I'd hope you could get both these guys in the roster. If your team's so loaded that you can't, I don't think you should be worried about losing. So we appreciate everybody tapping in, man. It's another good start, sixth week. We are getting super close to the fantasy playoffs, so hopefully you go get some dubs. Hopefully these helped answer your question. Jay Rich, as always, we appreciate you stopping by. Eric, a staple on the show, and Gene has been in a bunch of times as well. We are out of this thing, fellas. Peace.
Peace.
I'm just looking at this TV.
Did he hop out without ending?
I think so. Oh, yeah.
My bad, y'all. I always do that when I run it. I press the leave, and it makes me leave the studio. I'm like, fuck.
I think we're still live.
Are we really? Oh, no.
Come
on. Nice. Let's go.
Outtakes of the Start Shit Show. Let's go.